Ladies and gentlemen, what's taking place right now is 100% the fault of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party and Democrats in charge. Read the negotiated deal. Would Kabul and the country have fallen eventually? Almost certainly. Yeah. Read the negotiated deal, though, that Trump negotiated that was backed by the UN Security Council last year. The timeline was May 1st, 2021. The adversaries of the United States of America, that organization, and the government, the Afghan government, were to engage in intra-Afghan negotiations. I'll give you the State Department PDF in the description. So actually, it'll be in the pinned comment. And the description section, you will have an acknowledgement by the Los Angeles Times that Biden has not decided whether to proceed with the withdrawal, U.S. officials said, and that was published March 14th, 2021. It was negotiated, it was agreed upon, the UN Security Council gave its blessing. You had every actor, every player involved agreeing to a withdrawal by a certain timeline. This would then foster dialogue, or was supposed to foster dialogue between the government there, which would have fallen anyway. But it's a matter of how and when. Biden wasn't even sure about leaving as late as March of 2021. Then he said, September we're going to leave. Why September? Why not May 1st, which is what all the parties agreed upon? If you are a wonderful, morally superior Democrat, could you please explain why? Can you please explain in the comment section, if you stumble upon this segment, why didn't Biden simply agree to the timeline that everyone in Afghanistan agreed to? And if at that point, the May 1st, 2021 timeline was agreed upon, and Biden actually acknowledged that the dialogue between America's adversaries, the government, the U.S., the United Nations, other countries, major powers within the region, everyone agreed to a May 1st, 2021 timeline. Biden, in his infinite wisdom, who knows what he was doing, very likely everyone around him, who knows what everyone around him was thinking, that tell him what to do. They said, we'll push it to September. What was the point? So the adversarial organization in that country said, look, if you're not going to abide by the timeline, it's the Wild West. Why should we're going to utilize our military might immediately. They run the country. They've run the country and controlled the country generally from a military standpoint for 20 years. Generally from day one, generally. And God bless the soldiers and the American soldiers and their families, men and women, who have sacrificed so much. Today has nothing to do with your bravery and courage and heroism and immense sacrifice. Everything that you've done for this country, we love you. God bless you. To every Afghanistan veteran, Iraq veteran, Vietnam veteran, Desert Storm, we love you. God bless you. You have done more for this country than any politician in Washington. So God bless you. But hit subscribe to this channel right now, because there's hit subscribe, tell your friends about this channel, and if anyone says, well, it's not Biden's fault, it is 100% Biden's fault. Even if you wanted to look into a crystal ball and say, well, you don't know, it would have fallen even on May 1st. Well, you don't know that, do you? You're wrong on everything. Clinton didn't win in a landslide. Bernie Sanders was cheated. Trump was never convicted or charged with working alongside Russian operatives. You were wrong about that. You were wrong about Trump causing January, that horrible day. Yeah, terrible day. I know. It is. I condemn that day. But why don't you charge him? Why don't you level charges or indict him? Oh, that's right. You don't have the evidence, but you're going to pontificate and preach and condemn. Democrats are all public relations. And the Lincoln Project, Bill Kristol, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden voted for all of this 20 years ago. Even Bernie Sanders voted for this 20 years ago. Not Iraq, but Afghanistan. And the smartest people in the room, yet again, have Trump-Russia'd, Enron'd the entire country. We have the most unintelligent intelligentsia. And we've had since Vietnam, we had the Sigma war games that told us we could not win. We still tried, even though we didn't learn the lessons that the French learned. And we knew what would take place. General Daniel Bulger wrote a book of lessons learned. The book is titled Why We Lost. And the United States military, all militaries, we are the most powerful military in the world, but you cannot engage in a counterinsurgency conflict pushed by people like Bill Kristol. You know those liberals, those wonderful, morally superior liberals who retweet Bill Kristol because they think he's a true good Republican? He wanted a marriage. He and other conservatives within the Bush administration wanted a marriage amendment. Okay, he opposed marriage equality. These are the people that Democrats have aligned with. And then I remember when I was on the left, when I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. And people say, well, how do you go from a socialist to Trump? This is how you go. I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. I've written against counterinsurgency conflicts. Read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, the Roanoke Times, the Jerusalem Post. It's a section within my website, hagoodman.com, writing opposing in opposition against counterinsurgency conflicts. A counterinsurgency war is something that you cannot win, even if you have the most powerful military. You can't influence the hearts and minds of anyone through a military. The reality on the ground, as in every military endeavor, is different from what politicians and media never gives the accurate what's going on. And so, why did Biden go just to be petulant? It's all public relations. No, we're going to do it our way. We're not going to, May 1st, no. I mean, everyone agreed upon that. And, we're just, no. We're going to wait until September. Why? Why? What was the point to wait until September? Because in March, here's the evidence that he didn't know what he was doing, Biden. In March, the Los Angeles Times admits, first of all, media didn't want America to leave. That's, okay, these are the wonderful people who say that Trump is immoral and he's a despot. These are the people who wanted to continue never-ending military involvement. These are the true despots. Okay? You can look throughout. Lincoln was vilified by the press. You can look. The media is always wrong. The media is always wrong. Hollywood, intelligence agencies, always on the wrong side of history. It was a moral imperative to vote for President Trump if you didn't want this type of thing to take place and if you wanted Americans home. And what Biden did, leaving Afghanistan on a Trump deal could spur chaos, U.S. commanders say. Los Angeles Times. The opposite took place. Biden has not decided whether to proceed with the withdrawal, U.S. officials said. This was a March 14th. On March 14th, he didn't decide yet. The deal was for May 1st, we were supposed to leave. On March 14th, he hadn't decided yet. The deal was for May 1st, we were supposed to leave. The Los Angeles Times, it says on March 14th, Biden didn't know what was going on. You want to tell me it's not his fault? Okay, again, this is going to be very difficult for people on the left to understand because they're literally programmed in their minds. They're literally programmed to believe they're morally superior. You're morally inferior. Do you know that? Morally superior liberals, you're morally inferior. You push for never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, and you're upset over Trump's tweets because you have no lives in terms of seeing the aggregate, the bird's eye view of life. Like the Montana fisherman goes to Tucker Carlson, "You're a horrible human being." A human being should be judged by his actions, not his words. And Biden's actions, from voting for this to the Democratic Party embracing Bush's neoconservatives to this complete disaster and debacle, his actions should speak louder than Trump's tweets. You caused this, morally superior Democrats. You caused this, President Biden, our beloved President Biden. You could have simply, if you had stood by the May 1st deal, the country might have collapsed eventually, but not immediately. You could have maybe had some kind of influence, some kind of leverage, some kind of moral standing to say, these are the morally superior apoplectic liberals. You could have had moral standing to say, hey, you negotiated this. So I don't want military action, but any military action, I want Americans home. But you could have said, hey, you negotiated, you agreed to a May 1st timeline. So now, all of our promises are off. But you can't do that now. You didn't even know if you wanted to withdraw in March. You completely tore up everything Trump did because he's Trump, because you're petulant and malicious people. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is not egg on their face. This is another failure, another catastrophic failure. Oh, you want to talk about the southern geographic region of our country? There are now double, everything is double. The capacity, it's over capacity times 2 compared to President Trump's administration. They're detaining people times 2. Everything is worse. Biden's America, everything is worse, except you don't have Trump's tweets. So enjoy. Enjoy, morally superior, wonderful, amazing liberals. God bless you. God bless you. Very good people. You are the Montana fishermen. You're the Montana fishermen of foreign policy. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.